welcome to the Phantom Zone. Tonight we're going to actually be doing some news, and I'd also like to make a statement that this podcast does not support the horrible tree elves that
Nope.
live in the entire country of Finland.
Nope.
I've decided that all the people from Finland are tree elves of some sort after watching the movie The Hatching. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'm your host, Eric Dvorchak, and who else is here with me?
Arlen Haro, and I think the ghost of J.R.R. Tolkien might have some words for you, but otherwise, yeah, sure, why
He's
not?
dead,
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'm Hunter Davenport, aka Level 21 Night Elf Rogue. So yeah, that's me.
And I'm Lou Gonzalez, and I hope you're talking about the white elves, right? You're not part of that alt-right, all elves have to be white.
Well,
no, I'm all for elves that kill the queen. I'm good with that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ones that turn her to dust.
Right, the Irish elves, the ones that spend 70 years trying to.
Every time I think about the queen, I still think about that final slur thing from The Onion. It was the best thing ever.
Oh, it's so good.
It made me so. Did you see that, Lou?
No, I saw the other thing they did, which was awesome, which is some guy is getting sued for like a fake Facebook, like satirizing like his local cops, and they wrote like a brief for him for his court case, talking about how like they have like 13 trillion subscribers and they're like so respected, and they're like, oh, we're so good, we called the 2022 Mar-a-Lago raid in 2017. And they literally linked to one of their stories about, oh, golfer finds nuclear secrets in bathroom at Mar-a-Lago.
Really? That's crazy.
Yes.
But
so they've been on fire.
The thing that I was referencing was the Onion run an article that said Meghan Markle on her way to Ireland to receive, or not Ireland, on her way to Scotland to receive the final slur from the Queen, which was a unique honor because it was being bestowed on the first non-Irish person. It was the best. Anyways, so tonight we have some news to cover and flying around wherever else we end up going. First on the docket was that Robbie Coltrane passed.
Yeah.
Super
sad. He's pretty young too.
How old was he?
He was like in his 60s, wasn't he?
No, I feel like he was pretty old.
Oh well.
I mean, he's been acting since
72.
Oh, that's still that's pretty young still.
It's pretty young.
You got to think though; those are at least half of those are English years.
Oh yeah, no.
And
it's a hard lifestyle.
That's a lot of warm beers and like whiskey.
A lot of beans on toast.
Right. Yes, and just like 5 eggs in the morning, just 5 per
eggs and beans and like soggy bacon.
Oh God,
the soggy
toast that is fried in oil. Just yeah.
I was reading some shit because the last podcast guys are in England, and I was reading some shit that like some dude was like getting on Marcus because he didn't put butter and grated cheese on his beans on toast. I'm like, it's a miracle they're still alive. It's a miracle that they don't all die from coronaries.
I can't remember what I listened to. They're like, a cuisine, like when a culture has a terrible cuisine, when like their most famous dish is from another culture.
Yeah,
like which is like the most famous, like the best thing you can get in England is curry, which is from a country like on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, my only counterpoint to that is America.
I mean, everything we have is not real, so.
Well, or stolen from somebody else.
Well, we're very different from the rest of the world that way.
Have you guys ever seen the Scottish delicacy of deep fried pizza?
Yes, I have.
The garbage monster part of me from my 20s is calling out for me to eat that, but the rational 44-year-old is like, you would die on the toilet.
Do it, Eric.
That sounds better to me than Chicago style pizza.
Yes,
I fucking hate Chicago style.
You know what's funny? I love Chicago style. I think it's great.
Well, yeah, and I wanted to circle back to the deep fried thing.
Davenport BBP level.
Yeah, I'm a BBP
my hot take on deep fried stuff is I I don't really like it that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat, especially now that like I started my like diet because it's like now like I look at deep fried shit and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. How many
Occasionally,
miles?
I'm like chicken. Yeah, but
Yeah, so I just came back from like a 5-day trip in Alabama, and every meal had fried chicken.
Oh,
So every meal had fried chicken, and it was like, this is the best fried chicken I've ever had. Then go to the next one. No, this is equally the best fried chicken I've ever had.
Right, yeah.
It's so different than what we get, like, because it's not like that heavy breaded shit. It was
No, it's
Right.
light and airy and crispy and
But
delicious.
again,
Yeah.
with food, how are people survive? It's like every meal was fried chicken, cornbread, collard greens with like bacon in it, like beans or black eyed peas.
Yes.
He's just so happy, and everyone's just like at the end of dinner. Oh, and interestingly, most places like you have to like specifically ask for water. They usually will serve lemonade or sweet tea.
Right.
That's the
That was
default.
my understanding.
That's the
Yeah.
default.
I can get behind all of these things, but you have to go to the South to have this happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want
Right.
to go to the South.
I'm all set.
Yeah.
I've been
13-hour
there,
bus
good.
ride each way.
And here's the thing. I can do black tea and lemonade all the time, but it's the sweet tea. And
Yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah, not black tea. It's sweet,
sweet tea.
Right.
Sweet
Yeah.
tea is
lemonade, like country time lemonade.
That
Oh,
shit
yeah.
is rough.
No, and I know when they say sweet tea, they mean it is like mostly sugar. It is just
and
You start
most
by
of the time
adding
it's
a
sun
third
tea as
sugar.
well.
It's a third sugar
Yes.
to
I can't do
to
that
2
shit.
parts tea.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's delicious. It's the best. I want to be able to spoon it into my mouth.
What the fuck?
Well, yeah. With Scotland, the other thing that they have, because they're well known for being disgusting drunk monsters, is the Munchie box. I don't know if any of
Oh,
you have
what?
seen that. It's a
What the fuck is
it's like a
You want to run that by me again?
I think that's what it's called. It's like a pizza box that is filled with a bunch of deep fried garbage. Like,
Oh my
So here's
God.
the thing.
I have a
I'm not
picture.
gonna let Scotland take the L on this one because fucking isn't it Upper New York that has the same fucking shit? The fucking
No. We put it on the like New Jersey and New York puts it all in a sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
well, no.
yeah.
Where's the garbage plate? Isn't that like in Rochester or
Buffalo.
something? Buffalo.
Rochester, yeah.
It's Upper New York, where it's like
All
it's
this
it's beans and toast and a grilled cheese, and it's never like a full. It's a half a grilled cheese, a half a slice of toast, a
Yeah.
bunch of like hash browns, shit like that. Yeah,
It's on a paper plate.
same idea.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all this sounds disgusting to me.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you look up Munchy, it's
Look up.
dense.
Turn safe search off when you Google fucking Munchie
It
box.
looks like a pizza with like chicken nuggets, onion
Mhm.
rings,
Oh,
cheesesteak, and chicken.
it's too much.
Again, it's
Some of those
I mean-
circular things are some of them have it looks like spaghetti. Some of them
Yeah, I
have
saw
like
spaghetti.
deep fried burgers. There we go.
Mhm.
One
Yeah.
box could include treats like kebab meat, fried chicken, pizza, onion rings, pakora, chicken tikka,
Mhm.
naan bread, garlic bread, coleslaw. Yeah, there's a billion different things, and it's this disgusting box just that you
found
eat
one
after
that
you
has
drank a whole
rib-
bunch of
has-
Buckfast.
I mean, again, I'm gonna give them the credit. At least there's a lot more variety to that than the previously mentioned garbage box.
Well,
Sure.
the American version is an
Bonjour?
imitation, and it's
Right? Yeah.
yeah,
A
it's
poor one.
monstrous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
bad.
Also, this looks like a thing that you buy to share with a friend. This is you're
Yeah.
drunk
Oh
with
yeah,
three buddies.
yeah. I mean,
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
if
looking
you're
at a,
eating full Munchie boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
a garbage plate. I'm pretty sure is like mac and cheese. Let me see.
Sure.
What is a garbage plate?
I mean, I'm sure
Um,
there's a standard recipe, but from what I've seen, that doesn't matter.
It looks like potatoes, mac and cheese, chili cheese, baked beans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and onions is like a garbage
Gross.
plate.
Gross. That sounds
Like
like the worst.
Raw
thing ever.
onions?
Sauteed onions, white onions. It looks like.
No, it's
That,
just
does,
one.
that sounds
mean-
fucking awful.
It's a raw
My
onion cut up
assumption-
like an apple. You got to eat it that
Right,
way.
yeah.
Whole. You gotta eat a
Damn
whole
it.
take a big bite.
Yeah, you gotta crunch into it. My assumption, at least when this started, was these are restaurants that are closing down in like an hour, and they're like, "This is what you get. You don't get to like order an entree."
It looks
Yeah.
like there's also a hot dog in it.
Mhm. Right. Exactly. Yeah,
and
exactly. It's just
really-
whatever you have.
Well,
Mhm.
that's what where Chinese food came from. Like what we think of as Chinese food. It was like
Right.
it's San Francisco, and they're like, oh, fucking white people coming in. Right. What do we have that's still warm? All right, and that's how they made chop suey. Like chop suey just means
Oh, yeah.
like
Mm.
stuff.
That makes sense. So
Yeah.
Right.
they essentially poured the bar mat into a shot
Yes.
glass.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is
God.
that? Is that called a cement mixer?
No, cement mixer is Bailey's Irish Cream and lime juice.
What is that? Has a name for it though? What you're talking
No,
about?
yeah, there is. I think it's called it's
Mind
it's a
eraser.
garbage shot.
No,
It's
Mind Eraser.
I
is
think
a
it's
different
called
shot.
Early Death.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I
it's
did
weird
one once.
because, I mean, to tie it back into the last podcast, there's a movie that Henry was in, where he drinks
Yes.
one of those,
Yes.
and it's actually very entertaining. It's very funny to see him and his reaction to it because I think that they really did it. So go watch After Midnight if anybody needs a recommendation.
I honestly thought you were going to say Wolf of Wall Street. I'm like, yeah, that's in there. All right.
I mean, he probably did it there as well, but no, this is a
They
movie
didn't
where he
film
plays
it.
like a yeah. Well, yeah, that's old fat Henry. Anyway, we were talking about Robbie Coltrane, and then we
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about
Yeah,
food,
then
which
we talk
is
about
just
how much we hate the British.
right,
Yes.
and we could
Hell.
none of this could be better.
Yes. Yeah. It's back on the hill train again, guys. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like Robbie Coltrane has just kind of been omnipresent, but
Yeah.
mostly for the Harry
Mhm.
Potter stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think everybody has another thing that they know of him. Probably
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
of course, it's the Bond films,
Yeah,
obviously.
I think the two Bonds were the ones I did with you that he's in,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which
he's
is
great
good.
in them.
And he's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm
Absolutely.
remembering correctly, yep, the one that I remember him from was Nuns on the Run.
Oh,
Oh
hell yeah.
yeah, he is in
Well,
Nuns on the
again,
Run.
Again, tying it back to last podcast, this is a Ben bit that he would do where he would say that every killer was Robbie Coltrane. So
Yeah. That's right.
yeah.
Which, funny side note, around the same time that Nuns on the Run came out, there was a movie that was called The Pope Must Diet.
Ooh.
Oh yes, he's also
Wow.
Otis does not like the Pope.
he's also in that.
It's Our Trash Neighbors.
Well, they don't like the Pope
he-
either.
But
They're
the thing
anti-Catholic.
is, the original name of that movie was The Pope Must Die. And apparently, like, the studio was like, no. You can't.
I think
call
they
it
should have
that."
kept it.
Yeah, they should have, but nope. Ended up being The Pope Must
No.
Diet.
Well, so when around would this have been? Is
The
this
90s.
91. I'm looking.
Yeah,
91,
so-
something like that.
yeah, I mean, it's not that many years later, Dogma happens, and then fucking Catholics are standing outside the theater calling Kevin Smith all kinds of horrible things, and Catholics
think-
Catholics be crazy, yo.
Dogma's like way later, I think.
I
though.
think we should
It's-
really talk
Dogma's
about.
99.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we should really talk about though the protests that happened for the Dante's Inferno game from EA.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that-
Yeah. Where
Uh,
Satan has a huge dick.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
And how EA paid people to protest the game.
Oh, yeah. I
That
forgot
was-
they did that.
Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause that were
that's
Warner
actually kind of smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole in that Elvis movie where they're selling stickers that say "fuck Elvis" or whatever. They don't say "fuck," but whatever it was, something like that. Anyway, news. Our next thing. We're gonna try not to make this just Hunter salivating.
Yes.
I would say.
I'm turning into a cartoon wolf.
And so the only reason this is actually on here is the detail that I hadn't seen before when you brought this up, and then I filled you in on all kinds of Barbarella lore. Is that she's producing this as well?
Oh.
Um,
All right.
Yeah,
Which-
Sydney Sweeney is producing and starring in
Yes.
Barbarella remake.
Can someone explain to me why we're doing Barbarella?
Because,
Well-
That will work.
listen, Sydney Sweeney walked into a room and just said Barbarella, and a bunch of execs just threw money at her.
so
And their
possibly,
mouths dropped like a Tex Avery cartoon and their tongues
Yes.
rolled out.
Like I
Yeah.
said, they turn into cartoon wolves.
Yeah, exactly.
well, so it's important to understand they were also like they do this every 10 years. They write it on their notepads, ask about Barbarella, and they're never they're always cowards.
Yeah.
For whoever it is. And this, I mean, every 10 years, it's like, maybe we should do a Barbarella remake this time. What actress can we ask to do it? And can we actually do it? Can we actually put the offer out? And it's happened many times over the years. Her being the one who wants to do this, I think, is the reason why it's actually happening, which is kind of amazing.
It's just interesting. Like, it's a weird, like, sci-fi, because it's just like kind of not porn sci-fi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's all it is.
No, I've said this. It's literally like every porn parody that you've ever seen with the sex scenes cut out. They just cut away, and they cut to something else as sort of an inference of the sex, and then come back, and it's exactly the same as any of those.
It just has boobs.
Yeah,
Fonda boobs.
Well,
so
they've got the right actress then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. with their luscious racist tits.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god. That story. I don't
I love it so much. It's so funny. It's the best thing I ever read.
It's so bizarre to me that, like,
you're gonna have to catch me up because I missed this. I feel like I've heard some things.
So
who wants to explain?
Okay,
I'll try.
explain because
I
have commented the most.
Nothing to do with me asking the three white guys to explain to me racism, like someone else's racism.
No, it's not. It's not specifically racism.
She's not. Okay, I'll say that she's not racist. That's the whole point of it. So she posted a picture of her and her mom for her mom's birthday, and one of her uncles was wearing a thin blue line shirt, and people lost their fucking minds.
There were also people wearing "Make America Great Again" hats.
Oh yeah, but like, we all have relatives do that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
now the thing that I'm referencing is I had been on Reddit, and I'm on Black People Twitter, which is a subreddit. And it's amazing.
Black People Twitter is the real Twitter.
Yeah,
exactly. So one of the things that somebody had on that was, none of y'all can't believe that that those luscious white tits came from some racists. You people are tripping. So that's my favorite line I've ever seen.
It's pretty good.
That's why we're talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm not against it. I'm just like, interesting. Don't know why.
Yeah.
But I'll watch it.
I mean, I'm befuddled by this as well. God damn it.
Yeah. I kind of love that weird, like, 60s, 70s retro futurism stuff. Is very fun.
I mean, yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's the stuff that I really like. I like old sci-fi art and things like that. And
well, when is Ken Levine going to finish writing that script for Logan's Run?
Oh, he's not going to. That'll never happen.
It's not happening.
He's too busy being an asshole to his employees.
Arlen, did you ever play? Is it Strange Worlds? Other Worlds?
I gave it a shot.
It is very much that aesthetic,
and I enjoyed the aesthetic. I think that carried me through for quite a bit. I'm not into that heavy of an RPG. So yeah,
wow.
Because it's just not for me, man. It's just not for me.
I've known this.
Nora's updating your system.
Yeah.
How dare you? How fucking dare you?
Oh god, finding that was so funny.
For one game, okay.
No, but like,
for one game,
Arlen is like terrified.
He's afraid it's going to come alive.
Which is a good segue into our next story.
I definitely did not do that on purpose.
All right. What is our next story?
It's the trailer for Megan.
God, that goofy looking.
Like just before I jumped on, and me and Eric were starting to talk about it. It's fucking wild.
That is the goofiest looking trailer I've ever seen.
I'm gonna be honest, it looks kind of cool.
I mean,
I was interested until the running.
Oh my god, when she started doing the TikTok dances, yes.
No, but like when she gets on all fours, I was like, why? If she's a
I love it though.
It's scary.
Well, no, it's meant to imitate like the Boston Dynamics robots, I think.
Yeah, but she's not in those. She doesn't have those dimensions, so it just makes her slower.
I think the understanding is that underneath she is. I think that's the implication there.
What's funny
Arlen,
is
is this a case of you making the movie in your head before you've seen
Yeah.
it?
I don't know.
also
Maybe.
that scene in the dancing scene is like it's like, oh, this is the worst. It's just a kid in a costume, like a kid in a mask.
so
Like,
funny.
the
It's
scenes
so
where it's
funny.
like some sort of animatronic are like the way better looking scenes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So James Wan is what, producing this, executive producing it?
Yes, he's put his
Okay.
name on it. He's there with the Blumhouse people.
He's cashing a check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's cashing out. I mean, they called in their Allison Williams. They had her for one other movie, and they've just been holding it over her head. Like this time, I don't know for sure, but I have to assume that, seeing as in the entire 6 years since Get Out, she hasn't been in another Blumhouse, unless I'm missing one.
No, you might be right.
Just
Has she
now,
done has she done really much?
she hasn't done much.
Yeah, she did some Netflix movie about an obsessive like cello player, I thought it was.
Oh, that's right.
The
That was her.
scariest thing of all. Cellos.
Exactly.
Mhm.
No, it's women playing cellos.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
We know women can't play music.
Yeah,
women- Right.
Nope.
They're too busy making dinner. They can't touch those
Mhm.
things.
You can't like flip over like a burger with a cello. It's just not.
Exactly. No.
So I guess she's been doing a series, the Lemony Snicket stuff. She's in.
Oh, they're trying that shit again.
That show's good.
It's the
first
one.
season. The first season that I saw was all right. I just too much TV. Just too much. It was just too much.
But that ended like 2 years ago. It looks like.
Yeah, it did.
So she hasn't really done much in a couple years.
I mean, you do have to account for the pandemic, of course.
Mhm.
That's part of it. But it is weird that 6 years later, Blumhouse is like, this is the script. This is the one.
Put her in
This
the
is
one
the
with
movie.
the freaky robot.
It is very strange that this is where they called in their chips. So yeah, I have to assume, or maybe she just really likes working with them, and they were like, this will be fun, and if so, why not?
Yeah, I just wonder how she hasn't been in a whole lot of stuff, and there's many franchises she could be in, and she hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if it's stink from Girls, because only one person has really come out of that clean.
I mean, there's that's a good point. I'm
also wondering if it's the transitive properties of the shit with her dad.
I was gonna say, honestly, always when this happens, actors, I always just assume that they've just got a lot of money. They're just sitting on. They're like, all right, I'm gonna take a break now.
Right. It's the thing with Meryl Streep's daughter, right? She's not actually in a lot of things. In between this Let the Right One In show that just started and Mr. Robot, I can't even think of things that she's been in. I'm sure there's one big thing that I'm missing or forgetting about. So when you come from money, you tend to be selective. Occasionally a Wyatt Russell shows up and he's like, I'm going to be in everything.
But she also did open a season of the show by getting her ass eaten.
Yes.
What? Wait, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the opening of the final season of Girls is getting her ass eaten.
Hunter, did you not watch Girls ever?
No, I didn't.
It's a show. It exists.
Yeah,
Girls.
There's also the episode where she has sex with a gay guy.
What?
Right.
Girls is. It's Lena Dunham. It has many problems.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It has all of the problems.
It has there are moments in it that are wild, sexually. I mean, that's where the controversy about. Don't you see Adam give Lena Dunham a cum shot? Isn't that a thing that happens?
Oh yeah. Well, he has sex with half of them.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I've only seen the first 2 seasons, and I just never.
My wife watched all of it. The only one person I remember else on it is the guy that played Micro in Punisher is in that. He's the one who's eating Allison Williams' ass.
Oh, well, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh. I'm imagining that. I'm like,
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a Williamsburg dude.
He's in Star Wars.
I'm imagining him doing
Star
that,
Wars.
and John Barenthal is like, Micro, where are you? I've got them in my sets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cassian Andor is there too, and he's just looking at him very, very untrustingly. Yeah. But no, the one who's done the best out of all of them is Shoshana, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well,
bunch of
besides Driver, like removing him from it, but yeah, of the main girls, yeah, I think because all the other ones, like, I think Lena Dunham's sort of doing something recently.
I just assume Jessa is doing stuff in Australia because she's Australian. So yeah.
Who knows?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because the other one was on Flight Attendant.
I just know Lena Dunham kind of burned her career down by being
Lena
horrible.
Dunham?
Yes, exactly. And
Right.
yeah, no good segue to bring up to our next thing. Unless somebody has something else they want to say about that goofy ass trailer for Megan.
I mean,
there are aspects that looks interesting. It's like Evil, the AI movie, kind of cheeky.
I'm so old. I've seen so many of these movies.
Yeah,
I understand that, but at the same time, I just based off the trailer, we don't get enough goofy horror anymore. It is all very serious and
is this
self-serious.
a remake of a Japanese movie?
No,
it might be.
Because it feels like it should be. Because it feels like a machine that Japan is making, not America.
It's a remake of Alita. That's what it is.
Oh, okay, cool. James Cameron is actually secret executive producer.
They filmed it underneath the ocean.
This is the split to Alita Battle Angel. That's what this is.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is in the Battle Angel universe, clearly.
Yeah. Oh, the BAU, yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of other acronyms that end in U, and I didn't realize this was confirmed, but Harrison Ford is replacing William Hurt in the MCU.
It's not confirmed, but everybody is reporting on it like it is confirmed. Okay. So
I think it's happening.
He needs to buy more planes to crash.
I don't like it necessarily, but it is happening. Jeff Snyder he's a leaker, and he's gotten a lot of leaks in his time, and he tends to be correct or at least on the right track. So regardless of anything else, Harrison Ford will be in the MCU from everything that I'm hearing. And from all of this news, he's going to be in the MCU in a Thaddeus Ross-like role at the very least, I think, is what we can assume from this.
What is your issue with Harrison Ford potentially replacing Thaddeus Ross?
It just doesn't feel right to me. It's just like a personal thing. I just don't.
I don't think he feels military enough to me. Like military hard ass.
I don't know. It depends on what they do with him, because I mean, I feel like Harrison Ford's at a point where he's just like, yeah, I'm up for whatever.
Can he grow a mustache?
I mean, I think he can grow a
mustache. They can glue one onto his face.
Exactly.
Has he ever had a mustache in a film?
He has to, right?
I don't think so.
He should.
I'm literally Googling this because I need to see.
Well, in Mosquito Coast, he has a beard. He has a beard in Mosquito Coast. Am I correct or am I incorrect about
He's had goatees. He looks like Geraldo Rivera.
All I know is that the press junket leading up the Thunderbolts is going to be an all-timer.
Yes. Yes. So, Harrison, what was your favorite part about doing this film? Ending it.
The paycheck it gave me.
Well, or he's going to slyly make a motion that looks like smoking pot without saying it out loud because he's not allowed to say it. But that's
the dude rules. I love Harrison Ford.
He's so over it all. It's the best.
That's why it's a joke, but it's not a joke. He needs to buy more planes to crash. That's what the guy does. He gets high. But in more ways than one.
He needs to buy orphans to feed to Callista Flockhart.
Yeah.
Are they still together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
But on the
go ahead.
Just on the actual story real quick. For me, it's more, I think Harrison Ford deserves better than replacing somebody who's dead. I think you give him his own character. Am I wrong in that feeling?
I do like him as a villain.
See, yeah,
I like him as a villain.
I don't have an issue with him replacing him because it's as callous as this might sound, like it's like having a different artist doing a character.
It's like they haven't done it already.
And that's totally fair. But like, I'm also thinking in terms of why are we recasting William Hurt, but we're not recasting T'Challa?
That's because there's a huge
very
difference there.
No, I understand, but like, if you ask certain communities online, they would say T'Challa should be recast, and they're very angry about it.
And I think Marvel very hard said "fuck you" to them in recent shows.
Yeah, I know.
Specifically,
and just in general, I'm just not into it. I'm not saying that it won't work.
Well, the thing is,
saying
Ross
when I watch the movie, it won't work, or the show.
Ross is a dumb character, and the only reason to bring him back, if that's what they're doing, is for Red Hulk.
Yeah,
sure, but that's
I think is the plan.
Well, that's the other thing, though. Like, I just do his son, or make it like Red She-Hulk. Do that thing.
Red She-Hulk is a thing. Yes.
It was Betty. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That doesn't exist in the MCU at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they. She hasn't appeared. She's in that Hulk movie.
Well, She-Hulk does confirm that that the Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one, is part of the MCU
with all the stuff. What's his name?
I mean, and it's a good place to bring Liv back, and this is why I'm saying I don't think he will be Thaddeus. Doesn't mean that he could be, but I think I would bet money on him being like an acquaintance or like a lifelong friend of Thaddeus in some form or another.
It would be really interesting if he was to like instead be like an evil Doc Samson.
That'd be pretty cool.
I can do that. Or even have him be like a variation of Henry Gyrick.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. Well, isn't Gyrick already been a thing?
Not in the movies or anything.
I thought he was. Who was? Oh no, he's not in Winter Soldier. It's that other guy.
Sitwell.
Yeah, Sitwell.
Gyrick is like a heavily connected X character.
Yeah,
I don't know if they would have been able to do.
He's also Avengers. Like that's where I remember seeing him a lot too. Because he was like the government liaison for the Avengers and was always, like, oh, you can't do that. You got to fill out the forms.
He's number one government shithead.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, that could work if it's just going to be a one-off because I can't see Harrison being like, yeah, I'll do 6 movies.
The thing is, like,
well, that was the other thing. Yeah.
It'd be too much like Robert Redford if they do him as like a shield guy or like government bad guy.
Yeah, but I think they had plans in motion, and I don't know.
That's a good.
It's I don't know. It's weird.
How much have they been counting on William Hurt?
I don't.
Not that much. That's why I assumed. I mean, so hypothetical here. My assumption was occasionally we see William Hurt again. We check in with him, but he's not the primary person who's dealing with all the thunderbolts of it all.
What if he's like an Osborn replacement for the Thunderbolts?
We're not getting Osborn.
No, not Osborn, but I mean, like he's a different character, but in that role.
I think it's very much the case that Madam Hydra, or whatever they're going to actually call her in the MCU, whatever name they're going to give her for short, unless it is just the Baroness, right? Is that
it's Baroness?
No, that's G.I. Joe.
Contessa is what I was looking for. Unless it's just going to be her title is the Contessa, and that's what we're going to be calling her. Unless it's that, I was assuming that's just that's the face of the Thunderbolts as a team. Like that's just who it is. There might be other people that come and go that are behind it or in charge of her, manipulating her. People who are from certain Eastern European countries of a fictional nature. But otherwise, she is the face of it, and I don't think we're going to see any billionaires of any kind come in to take that.
I could see, what I could see is I could see it just honestly being like, Harrison Ford's in the movie for like 5 minutes, and then he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just the CGI thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're ever going to get Red Hulk, dude.
No, I don't think. I think that they just go to Red She-Hulk, or they do like a flashback. They do.
I don't even think we'd see Red She-Hulk, honestly.
I don't think
I
we'd
don't
ever.
know.
The thing
I'm
about
thinking in
Red
terms
Hulk
of what.
is like it's just too much at this point.
Well,
Yes.
the thing is, like, do we want to talk about the ending of She-Hulk in this?
No, I
'Cause-
think we should. I think
Yeah,
before we
yeah,
go on to
we
the
should.
next.
ties in.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I don't know if we need another Hulk on top of the Hulk that they introduced at the end of She-Hulk.
So-
Top of, yeah.
So if we're just gonna get into that, is that Timothy Chalamet?
No, I don't think it is.
No,
Is that him?
no,
Because
No,
it
I
looks
him.
a little like him.
A little.
I think that they chose the face of a nondescript stuntman
Yep.
so that whoever they decide to cast to actually play that character, or when they announce who's actually played it, but maybe they just haven't been able to do mocap work, whoever it is, they would fit. But but they only show him for a couple of seconds. So
Yeah.
if he looks drastically different next time we see him, it doesn't matter.
and he
Also,
just looked like generic
just-
buff guy.
yes, he looked
With
just
fuckboy head
generic
haircut?
enough, like just NPC enough for it to not matter. And again, it's Disney, and what have they really liked to do lately? Change history, it seems, and just like edit shit until you don't even know what's real and what's not anymore. So they could go back and fill in the whoever's supposed to be playing that character later on and erase the old footage of whoever of that male model who they had playing Scar, I think is what they officially
Scar.
said.
It's like,
Yeah.
I really know very little about that character because he's like in the dark time. I did not read Marvel.
He was.
Well, I know
mean,
even less.
He's the son of the Hulk and the Empress of the world that he
The
was on.
the Stone
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah.
No, she's not stone, but I mean, her skin is red. Like she has like I forget what they call it.
No, she's the one that dies. I thought.
Yeah. I didn't think she was stone though.
I don't think she's red. She's one of the people that can turn into like. They can like turn their body stone. She's not one of the red people.
I don't
She's-
remember them being able to turn to stone, but it's been a while since I read
They
it.
have like the tattoos and stuff. We never saw them in
No, in
any of this
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
No.
Yeah.
I assume we're going to get a flashback at some
Yeah.
point where it's
And-
like, yeah.
My theory is that the reason why they introduced Scar is so they're not going to have to do the convoluted backstory of Hulkling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's an easy way to do it, and Ragnarok already gives you like a quarter of the story of where he came from. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
The other thing that with this ending of She-Hulk, which if you haven't seen it, fucking go watch it. If you haven't watched the show, why have you not yet?
Yeah, it's so good. Honestly.
Like this episode ended in a way that I could not predict
Nope.
in any way
Nope.
whatsoever. Like
It was
if you,
weirdly one of the most comic booky endings to a TV
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
it
absolutely.
was.
Yeah.
And it's also like it's very much like, hey, we hear you talking out there. Like,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
They address so much.
yeah,
It's so great. It's so great, and I love that Kevin had a hat.
yeah.
Yes.
Like I know I imagine Hunter and Arlen saw it. Lou, did you see the thing I posted about the hardest thing that Kevin Feige had with the Kevin robot was why does it have a hat?
That's so funny.
He was fine with like, oh yeah, it's the robot overlord of the MCU, but he couldn't understand why they gave it a hat.
Did they have to explain it to him?
Yes, they did, and they
Which
said
is
they had a
really funny.
bunch of different hats for it, and that was the one they decided to go with. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It would have been
But
great if, like, every time they cut to it, it just had a different hat for one
Yes.
of the movies.
well,
That's a lot of work, but like, would have been a good bit.
Was anybody paying attention to some of the comics that were in the background during
Oh, no.
the entire? Because some of the stuff definitely
Right.
tied into movies they've done, but there was some stuff that like there was a Scarlet Witch series that they haven't touched on anything from before. Some of the James Robinson stuff actually, and like there were a few
Oh.
other ones here and there that just they haven't done anything with. So it's like, are you guys trying to give us hints? Or is that what
I
you're
mean,
doing?
It could
See her
be.
coming back.
Well,
Yeah, me too.
the James Robinson stuff. I feel like they've all but set that up basically. I mean
Yeah.
the Agatha show, which I assume is about her trying to resurrect Wanda. I mean,
That would
we
make
don't
sense.
know.
I don't think
Mhm.
Wanda's dead.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, right? Well,
I
I
think
would
what they'll
assume Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I could see them doing the story like from when Wanda didn't have powers and she didn't have her
Mhm.
memory, like she was living in Wundagore, but maybe they would say she's like in Latveria or something like
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see
But
that.
yeah,
I can also,
there was a point where she just didn't know who she was and her powers
Right.
didn't work. So
I mean, they could still do that, and they could also do like she's in another dimension, she's in another universe, perhaps causing an incursion accidentally, or she's just like another part of the same universe, another dimension in that way.
I don't know. I mean, because with her
Yeah.
getting covered in rubble in our universe, like that makes me think that they would do the thing where like she doesn't know who she is, and
Sure.
you know,
It
I mean,
would
they
be
can still do that
interesting.
if she's in the microverse per se, or whatever they're calling it. I think they're calling it the
Quantum realm?
Quantum realm.
Quantum realm. Like if she's like shows up in a random town there or whatever. So, you know what I mean? Like her powers are connected to the rest of the universe, so she could have opened up a portal into something. Is what I'm getting at. She could have and fell through and still be doing what you're saying, or like you said, she could just be in Wundagore. Thinking
Her
that
and
she's
Latveria would be interesting. Of like Doom trying to, because of all his magic ties, like that would be
that's true.
interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because his magic, he has magic, and also his magic comes from Atlantis.
Where is that part from? Because I don't remember any of that.
I believe that is where he learned magic from Atlantean sorcery books.
Because the Wade and Wenrigo run of Fantastic Four, like he learned the magic from like the other Roma people, and he was studying to like get his mother out of hell. Like I'd never heard any of the stuff about Atlantis, so that's why
I can't remember it. I think it's like pretty old at some point, but yeah, like one of the places he goes to look at to get stuff is he steals shit from Atlantis.
I mean,
like old
the
sorcery.
Atlantis retcon is interesting because of the Namor and Fantastic Four of it all. So I can see why they would do that, just for like story succinctness, just making it very simple so that all this information can be shared easily. Other people can say this about Doom without him having to do a monologue, things like that. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's She-Hulk. All in all, I was so happy with that show. Like I was not expecting it to be what it was and as good as it was, because the advertisements for it made it look like it's a girl power show in the worst way possible.
Really, it is, but it's also like kind of not. Yeah, it's smart.
It's done well.
Yeah,
like that's the thing, because the advertisements for it definitely did not make it look like it was going to be done well. It looked like really bad Ally McBeal.
Yeah,
with like some super punches in it.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be more of a traditional Marvel show, actually, and that's the most pleasantly surprised I am about it. It's like there's not a lot of punching and action and stuff like that, and when it is there, it's really well done. They put a lot of effort into it to make it good.
And then, and also, there's like it's a bit like when it happens, like she doesn't want to, and I think that's what's great in that second to last episode, where we're getting the MCU hallway scene.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so you're gonna take a half hour to take everybody out and just like She-Hulk smash? That's just done.
Speaking of that episode, fuck you if you hate MCU Daredevil. He's fucking awesome.
Oh my god. He's the fucking Mark Waid run of Daredevil.
Yes.
It's so great.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't think he's that, like, he doesn't seem like he's not the Netflix one.
He's not that different.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, he's distinctly not the Netflix one. Like that's
yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think he's a million miles away. Like,
no,
he's not. Yeah,
it's clear that the nexus point is Kingpin going to jail. Like that's like, it's funny because like people were like, he's joking, and I'm like, have you ever read a Daredevil comic?
Exactly.
Like, well, I mean, these, I don't want to cast aspersions. This is the same group of people that think that, Batman was only written by Frank Miller, and as was Daredevil, and nobody else ever wrote those characters.
Yeah.
And it's just not true. It's just factually not the case.
No, it's not.
And I was listening to a podcast about She-Hulk, and one of the things they brought up is that Mark Waid was saying about his Daredevil run, the reason his Daredevil is so happy at parts is so that you can have that descent when things get dark again. You can have you can see the difference when his life does go to shit again eventually. Because if he's just in the shit all the time, there's no point. Why are you reading this book at that point, So yeah, yeah. Also, people just need to grow up and
yeah.
I loved seeing Daredevil doing the Walk of Shame.
Walk of Shame.
Yeah.
It's off. That costume looked fucking fantastic.
Awesome.
It did.
Yeah, it
looked so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
It worked completely. It worked 100%. And
I can't believe the multi-billion-dollar corporation that's made billions of dollars off these films did this correctly. It's a shock.
Yeah.
It's a shock.
Wow.
Well, it is a shock because it is a shock. It's still shocking to me. I mean, it's it will continue to be shocking to me when Hugh Jackman shows up in the yellow outfit. That will be shocking to me because we know that's going to happen now. We just know. I didn't put that on the rundown because that's weeks ago now. But we know it's going to happen. We know he's finally going to put that fucking yellow costume on.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And we're all going to be super into it and surprised that they actually managed to do it. Even though we know it's going to happen. So, yeah, good job, Kevin. Good job.
I'm waiting for the board to be like, well, maybe we need to try something other than Bob. Hey, Kevin, you want to be in charge? And then Disney World just becomes Marvel all the time.
It's either that's going to happen. Go ahead.
Sorry, Luke. I didn't mean to...
I was just saying, if it's going to happen, I think it's going to have to happen after Wakanda Forever. I feel like that movie is going to crush box office.
Yes.
It's going to.
Well, so Kevin he's in the background, and this isn't talked about a lot. He's working on a Star Wars thing.
Yes.
Oh,
and I think
that.
He's been working on a movie for a minute now. And I think after that movie comes out, if it makes $3 billion or something like that, I don't see how in the next 2 or 3 years Kevin isn't in a very high up position.
It's funny that
Moore is in charge of Marvel.
Eric, it's funny that you brought up the parks because Kevin Feige is a very vocal Disneyland fan.
There we go.
So he is built to run the company.
Yes. And I'm not just saying that from fanboydom. It's just he actually seems to care about what he's working with, and that's what Disney needs at this point. Bob Iger was able to straddle that line pretty well. Bob Chapek cannot at all.
They need the person who's both creative and can bring in money. That's exactly what they need.
Yep.
Also, I just don't go. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's what's made the MCU different than every other universe is him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's done well, and there's no way that Disney hasn't had this conversation already. Yep. These, it's not just us fans speculating. These things happen. We know from prior times where something like this has happened. These things get brought up long before they make it into real life. Yep. I mean, what was it? A decade before Conan O'Brien left his late night seat, they were talking about him getting the Tonight Show. Mm-hmm. So, if we assume that a similar things apply to Disney, there's already been discussions about, so when's Kevin going to take over? And then and it's at least a question that they consider. It has to be. And if he doesn't, if he ends up getting fired before then, whoever shells out the money to get him, I mean, that would be...
What would he have to do to get fired?
Yeah,
he would have to do something insane.
I feel he would have to punch a baby on camera.
He would have to slip half of Hitler's speeches into a Marvel movie somewhere. Yeah,
I feel he's just giving the speeches whilst running through a maternity ward, just tipping over babies.
Exactly.
Multiple babies. They're one was an accident, but by the sixth one.
He's turning the oxygen off on people's fucking ventilators. Yeah, he's untouchable at this point.
Yep.
because Marvel, regardless of what people think of the movies, has yet to have a failure.
Yep. Now, to circle back to that Star Wars movie, that movie dies somehow. If it's just like a black spot, the way that Solo is often positioned as, I could see him just being at Marvel forever, just
Yeah.
Well, it's
stuck there.
Like why? Like why? Unless he wants to, there's no reason for him to do anything else.
No.
True.
Well, Hunter, were you going to say something? It sounded like you were gearing up to say something, and then
Oh no, I was gonna make the joke that he would be on like on stage at D23 with like Mein Kampf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, comes out in full Nazi regalia.
He'd be like, "Oh, is he doing like a Red Skull bit?"
That's
Trying to work
It's-
around.
this might be a crazy idea, but I kind of feel like Disney cares more about Star Wars as a Disney Plus property now
Yeah.
than they do about it as
I mean,
films.
I think it works better that way.
I think it does
Oh,
too.
wait.
100% does.
I think for now that's just the safe option.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
again, for hypotheticals, Taika has been working on a Star Wars movie even longer than Kevin has been working on a Star Wars movie.
I knew about that.
And if that movie comes out and again it makes $1 billion, well, things might change very quickly over at Disney. We don't know. We won't know until it actually happens. So
Go ahead, Lou.
I was just to say, like, I think that high level fantasy stuff, which like sci-fi fantasy Star Wars, works better in long form narrative.
Yeah, I think it does.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like after how poor the reception was to Last Jedi, even though that was all bots,
Mhm.
and how
Were they bought by Snyder?
No, it's all the same thing.
Jesus
Lou,
Christ.
you're
I was
joking,
gonna
but
say
this is a
something.
thing. All these bots are traced to the same Russian servers.
And that server is named Megan.
It was Megan all along.
Oh my god! How did I know?
But with also how poorly Rise of Skywalker went, because there's no way they can't know that movie was panned.
Oh
in
yeah,
the theaters.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I can imagine they're kind of like, all right, we need to pump the brakes on the movies. Like, maybe we got a little bit too ambitious.
I mean, that's why they say things like Rian Johnson's trilogy is still happening, but we don't know when. Like that's why that stuff's happening.
We'll see.
Yeah. And that's why Kevin's movie and Taika's movies are the only ones in production, because they have ships that they can call in with the big boss to be like, no, you're making their Star Wars movie. You're making Taika's Star Wars movie. You're making Kevin's Star Wars movie.
They also have connections and they have like recognizable like names from like the people, like the average people.
There's an assumption that these movies will get the people who maybe don't want to see Star Wars movies in Disney's mind, that they can win that part of the audience back, perhaps.
Do I want to see Taika's Jar Jar Binks origin story?
Oh God!
I mean,
kind of.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
I would.
Like, of anybody, he's the if he did an all Gungan movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually,
he can make it work. Yeah.
If there was anybody.
He can make it work because he can make characters that shouldn't work incredibly relatable and funny. I mean, just what are they? Krogans? Is that what they're called? Like they were throwaway characters. It was a filler. It was it's the opening joke of Thor: Dark World or whatever. He's now one of the best characters in the entire MCU. People fucking wear Korg shirts and fucking yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. So I could see it. I could see him making Gungans like the most charming, lovable things. He just casts his entire What We Do in the Shadows people in it as different Gungans.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
Just imagine Jermaine Clement as like some fucking ridiculous alien.
I'm just imagining the guy who plays Nandor being a Gungan. I kind of love that idea.
Like, he made that. I haven't watched it yet. I will. Just there's so much fucking TV that like everyone says that pirate show is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Our flag of his death
It's
is
about the
wonderful.
shittiest pirate. It's like
I fell off not because the show was bad, just because again, too much TV. I just haven't had a chance to get back to it. I'm like excited that I remembered that it exists now. So it's like, yeah.
No, my wife and I dedicated ourselves to watching that because we loved that show. It was so good. But we'll probably never see a second season. So
no, probably not.
he's too busy.
Well, they're spending their money on our next story. If we want to go to that,
exactly. I was gonna try and segue into that. Yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about this. DUNE: The Sisterhood going ahead.
What is this? I don't understand.
Okay, I can tell you because I did some lookup and I've been reading so many of the books. So it's a Brian Herbert, so the Son's prequel book, but it's after his original prequel trilogy. So it's pre-Butlerian Jihad. I'm saying
That's a fucking dope name.
So the Butlerian, so it's about the like kind of origins of the so they're using robots, but it's like the origins of like Mentats, the what are the sisters? What's their group called?
The Bene Gesserit.
Bene Gesserit. They're like starting to form.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a good cast for that.
This is after the Great Robot War.
No, before.
Okay.
This is this is building up to the Butlerian.
Like, I'm hearing the words
roaming around.
I'm hearing the words "Great Robot War" and whatever the fuck jihad you just said, and I'm
Hunter,
like, DUNE rules.
That's why things like Mentats exist, because they don't use thinking machines in the world of DUNE, because the robot, whatever the jihad was called, I can't remember.
Butlerian Jihad.
Yeah, the Butlerian Jihad. Yeah, it's because of that. They're like, no, there will be no thinking machines.
Right.
And like that's why the what is it, the people made the eyes for fuck, what's his face? Not Duncan.
Denny?
No, they're the ones who made the Gola in the books.
Oh right, yes. I know what you're talking about.
It's Benny Twi'lek.
Yeah, the Benny Twi'leks, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Like they're the only ones who really fuck around with thinking machines, and that's why they're kind of like personas non grata.
I will say a bunch of words that so this is like the ancient Carino family past on the planet Seleucus Secundus, which is where the Carinos are from. There's an Idaho ancestor.
Of course there is.
Because there always is. Everyone's hard for the Idahos. And the Butlerians are starting to perk up. They are like a growing presence. Okay. And the Harkonnens are involved, and it's the beginning of the sisterhood. So it's going to be like sexy warrior women.
You can hear Henry Zabrowski's boner from.
Oh my! Like just to say, like when I what is it? Not Chapter House. It's whatever the second to last book from Herbert is one of the horniest things I have ever.
So you're telling me this show, outside of the horniest stuff that you're just talking about, you're telling me that we as white people get our own pasty version of Black Panther's Dora Milaje? Is what they're going to do?
Every time?
No, they're not specifically white. They never really say.
True.
They're far future humans. They are just beige.
Every time you guys talk about DUNE around me, all I think about is that I saw this meme. It's just Oscar Isaac, and it's just in block letters. It says, Benny Gesserit Turbo Pussy got me acting unwise.
Dude, you have literally I think it's the fifth book. The whole thing is about there is a group that like of Ben Gesserit that left, and they've come back, and their ultimate weapon is that they sex too good that it like can kill people.
Yes, I remember this from the deep dive. Yes. I remember this from DUNE Deep Dive. It's so good.
Like, they're like, no, they've done the thing we said we'd never do.
But this is after or right before Frank's wife died.
It's after his wife died.
It's after his wife died.
Yeah. So the whole book is about
he was going through it.
Sexy women with like their pussies are so powerful that they can kill them.
So
Bene Gesserit, Unleash the popping pea. No, mother, not the popping pea.
Oh, so
No, not what you
take it
mess with.
seriously. To take it seriously for just 1 second, this choice, now that Lewis actually illuminates some of the more of what it is,
Sisters,
this choice,
swing your laffy taffy.
Oh, the casting
a
is
lot of
awesome. The casting is perfect.
this makes sense, especially seeing as we are entering the 9th week of Hot D, and that show is a huge ratings success. And conceptually, the premises here are not that different. It's a past of a universe that is established, that has a fan base, that we know people do like it. I mean, they're making a Dune 2 because they clearly see something in it. They think that they can get something out of that.
People like Dune.
Yeah.
And
They
yeah,
like
I can
that little New York elf boy.
Who paints his own Xbox controllers.
Fucking great.
Oh, that's the best.
So good. I think we talked about this on another show, but if you haven't seen the video of a young Timothy Chalamet selling Xbox controllers,
It's the best. It's amazing.
I would love to see him talk about that with Henry Cavill talking about painting like Warhammer 3000 figures.
His World of Warcraft character.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear about that.
I can't remember. There is a show where he goes like, he's like, you will have to stop me because I can talk about like painting.
It was I think it was Graham Norton.
It was Graham Norton.
Yeah, it was Graham Norton.
Yeah, he's like, I will talk about. It's like it is the most saddest. And he's just like, they're like, really? He's like, yes, I have hundreds, maybe thousands of them.
I love the fact that he looks like peak male human being. Yes, he is everything that no one can attain, and he's the biggest nerd on earth. Like I remember seeing a quote from him where he's like, "No, I'd rather just stay at home and build a PC than go out." Honestly,
yeah, and I was like, "Yeah."
Oh my god, can you just come out and hang out and we can play some fucking Street Fighter, please?
Yeah, bro, please.
Yeah, like of any Hollywood actor, I'm like, oh, he'd be like the best. It's like, oh, do you want like? It's like, yeah, like let's get a crew together. Let's play some like D&D and like.
Yeah, I want to raid Henry Cavill and wow, that's all I want.
Like, oh yeah, the reason The Witcher exists is because he's like, I want to make a show where I could hold a sword.
Yeah,
yes,
fucking awesome.
Yeah. And probably because he's read all the books in their native Polish.
I think he said, like, I can't remember what podcast was to, like, they visited the set because they were filming something else. Like, they're like, yeah, Cavill's like going around being directors. He's like, no. Geralt doesn't hold his sword like that. He holds it like this. Like he wouldn't do this. Amazing. He does this. And they're like, dude, oh, okay.
He's the best.
He's so great. This guy. He's so great. And I like to believe that him breaking up with Gina Carano is why she turned into the monster she is.
Probably.
Her life was ruined by not being with him anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That Cavill.
Well, yeah. She was expecting she was expecting Zack Snyder's Superman. Except she got like what every neckbeard thinks he is.
So moving on to back to Warner Brothers / DC news, the Penguin has been officially greenlit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm cool with that. I loved Colin Farrell as the Penguin in that movie.
Yeah, he's fucking hysterical in that movie.
He's so good. He's so good.
And it's such an easy character to do like of all the Batman villains.
Yes.
It's like it's the easiest one to do a show because he's not a fucking supervillain monster like alien. Yeah. He's a fucking crime boss.
Arguably, he's the only Batman villain who's not insane. Like he's like
he's Kingpin.
Yeah,
but like
he's the reasonable Batman villain. He's the reasonable one.
Yeah,
somehow. Yeah. He's the one you can talk to.
My wife and I just recently rewatched the new Fright Night, or the newest Fright Night, the one from whatever it was, and the one with Anton Yelchin, and like Colin Farrell is so goddamn good at being menacing in that. So it made me remember, like, oh yeah, he was probably my favorite part of the new Batman film because I fucking loved all of his stuff on screen.
I love that.
Easy, sweetheart.
There's a great video. I think it's of Colin Farrell at the Oscars or something, and a reporter is like, "You just wrapped on Batman. What's next?" And he goes, "Get my shit together." And I'm like, "Yep, same, bud."
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of like that this is the comeback of Colin Farrell because he's always been a good actor and he kind of disappeared for a bit.
This is him.
Did weird stuff.
Yeah, this is him getting to have a victory lap, though. This is him like getting all the prestige and acknowledgement as a great actor, but also a lot of people watching and paying attention to him.
I just looked at his IMDb and I forgot I saw his last big movie.
What was that?
Before Batman. He was all of the reshoots for one of the worst movies of 2020. Artemis Fowl.
Oh, I forgot he was in that.
He's like, they did all those reshoots, just him. Like, he wasn't originally cast in the film.
Wow.
It makes sense.
I forgot that movie existed until this moment.
Lou, you brought it all back. You brought Josh Gad unhinging his jaw.
Shitting out of his ass, yes. But he did Dumbo before that. Like, he never went away. He just was never crushing it. Because he was in Fantastic Beasts. But that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say around 10 years ago, or whenever In Bruges came out, he won back like indie status and like cool actor status as being like, this is a guy that you can put in your movie who's going to get some attention and he's going to give a good performance, but he's not going to get as much attention as he would have previously for doing so. But this is him like ascending back to he's a marquee name now. You get excited when you see Colin Farrell.
Well, he had a bunch of bombs like in the 2010s. That were pretty bad.
Well, that felt like the time period where they didn't know where to put him. They were just trying to slot him into different holes.
He's in that Total Recall remake, which I refuse to watch.
Oh God, I watched that movie. It's not good.
Yeah,
I don't remember Seven Psychopaths, but I know the name.
Well, that's him keeping he even though he was doing those bigger movies, he always kept that indie guy credit, I think.
And then he's in like one of the worst movies, Winter's Tale, which I've seen. That's the one with the secret Will Smith cameo.
Yep.
I mean, it's not that secret. We all know he plays the devil in that movie.
No. He's referred to as Lou.
Right.
I don't even know what that movie is.
It's like a weird book that they like. A bunch of directors were like wanting to do, and they're like, "Oh, this is unfilmable," and then they made it,
and then it was. It turns out they were right.
Russell is a demon, and there's like a magic horse called Dog.
There's a magic horse. Did you say called Dog?
Yes, but the horse's name is Dog.
Right. There's a man that's been around. He's been alive for like 150 years or something, and he's like,
There's like a giant flashback to like turn of the century New York. And then he gets thrown off of a bridge, but then he wakes up in modern day, and then Jennifer Connelly's there, and her daughter has cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Now you've cursed me with knowing about this movie. Yeah. Thanks.
There's a how did this get made on it, and it is so confusing.
Actually, just you mentioning Will Smith. Sorry, real quick to go off on a tangent on this show. I can't believe that. There was that movie that came out. I forget how many years ago. It was relatively recent, but it's the one where they're kind of gaslighting him into trying to kill himself, I thought. Something along those lines.
Colin Farrell or Will Smith?
Will Smith.
Oh,
7 pounds?
Not 7 pounds. What is the one?
Pursuit of Happiness?
Gemini Man?
No, it's the one where like it has a crazy cast. It's like Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
Say
Pursuit of Happiness.
No, this is like a
7 pounds.
You can keep saying the same names over and over. It's not going to magically make them right.
No, what was this called? It's like Circle of something or like Spiral of like it's like a name like Spiral of Life, like or something like that, or like
that is so wildly off. I cannot. Collateral Beauty.
What? Collateral Beauty, yeah. Eric, that is in the same category. That is in the same.
What's the movie he did? That's his Suicide Squad follow-up.
What was the Will Smith movie where he committed suicide via jellyfish?
That's 7 pounds.
7 pounds.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He kills himself with a jellyfish.
Eric, did you never watch 7 pounds?
Yeah. No, I've never seen it.
It's not bad, but like he does kill himself with fucking.
7 pounds is
it's one of Will Smith's like
Is it
Oscar
7
bait
pounds of
movies.
jellyfish?
No,
it's the
his
same
organs.
thing. No,
Okay.
it's him like it's like a dark pay it forward type of thing.
Yeah.
It's very much in the same lane as Collateral Beauty, where it's like it's like him, it's a cast of other people. I think Rosario Dawson is in it. And it's like him like trying to make other people's lives better, and at the very end they've established that he has a pet jellyfish, and he puts the jellyfish in a bathtub with him. That's how he
researches like the best way for someone to die to donate their organs.
Right, because Rosario Dawson's son or her has a heart.
It's a whole Oscar baity thing. It has like a really good cast.
And there's a whole like running thread about what's the kind of dog that Scooby Doo is?
Great Dane.
A thing about how Great Danes can only live for so many years, for like 4 years or something.
I don't even think that's true.
I think it's like 7 is like
7. Yeah. And it's like this whole thing where it's like I am the Great Dane or whatever.
It's a movie I saw once.
Anyway, Colin Farrell, Penguin. This is the director of Mayor of Easttown.
Okay.
So there's going to be Philly accents all over the place.
Yeah,
So
probably.
Hey, darling, go get yourself some Wawa.
But no, it's going to be right, and they're going to show up, and then that gang of kids is going to be there also, and they're going to be, and then a random. It's going to be like, can I still get a sandwich? Can I still get
Eggles jersey while they're eating Eggles?
Yeah. And then they're going to throw batteries at Gritty.
They would never harm Gritty.
No, Gritty is the proletariat captain. Yeah.
Gritty will just absorb the batteries.
He kills fascists.
Gritty is the tulpa of the city.
Yes, he is. He's great. Yeah. They're all going to drink some water, and it'll be great. They'll maybe get some water.
At the very least, the show will be very well directed. We can assume that, because that was Mayor of Easttown was like watching a little short film every week. With fantastic performances.
I still have not watched that yet.
It's really good.
Is it worth watching? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
It's Kate Winslet just crushing it. Just like just every episode. It's like
as she does.
Yeah. It's her giving like her prime Winslet acting abilities in a TV show for, again, 6-8 episodes, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. A good supporting cast. Angourie Rice.
Ralph Boner's in it.
Yep, Ralph Boner is in it. Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Everyone's favorite MCU character, Ralph Boner.
Yeah. everyone's favorite dreamy serial killer, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well, we make fan cans of him, so
fucking kill me.
But yeah, and the other thing that I saw a couple days ago is the show picks up directly after the Batman, which good choice. Good choice there. Yeah, that's an interesting place to start from.
It should, because there is a hole in the crime network that would be perfect for him to fill.
And and it's a good way to you can have your show start with a lot of action. It's just like the Penguin cleaning house, basically, with everybody that So easy way to do it.
I wonder if they can get patented for an episode, like a finale.
He should be the final episode,
in suit,
and he has to. I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a thing of just the Penguin has to do something before Batman can get to him. He has to make a deal with somebody, or I don't know, anything. It could be, or do they have to team up? That could also be fascinating.
I just want. I don't want really any. I just want it to be a Spectre, and then one episode is you just see shadows once in a while, and the goons talking about it, talking about the Batman.
That'd be a great way to fill in space to set up the next movie. Also, it's a great way to you can see little things that will sprout in the next movie.
Well, I
And
mean,
what
Lou, with what you were saying about like, you want it to be like Spectre and like, shadows and whatnot. I mean, they already established that so well in the Batman that with the guy who directed Mayor of Easttown directing this, like, or the woman, was it a woman or a man?
I think it was a guy.
Okay, it was a guy. Okay, like they'll be able to do that pretty well because there were definitely parts of Mayor of Easttown that like not super horrific, but horrific enough based on the subject matter that like
Yeah.
yeah, them working with shadows would be perfect.
There's some real human darkness in that show, like real, like yeah.
the only Batman scene I do want to see on film is the scene of him at the dinner when he like closes the thing and all the candles go out. I can't remember. Is that year one?
Yeah, I would love
Yes.
flashbacks to some of those moments.
I just want to see like that scene.
Yeah, I mean, we could still get that because the GCBD show isn't happening, but they announced some time ago that they're doing the Arkham show, which I think is still happening. I believe that we covered a story about that at some point.
And how does Pennyworth fit into all this?
Well, they're doing the V for Vendetta crossover, so
I love that DC tries to find new ways to piss off Alan Moore on a regular basis.
Yeah,
true.
yeah, they do. They do.
That was a serious thing. What is this V for Vendetta?
So in Pennyworth, there is going to be a V for Vendetta crossover. They announced that today.
Wait, how?
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. My understanding, based off of trailers that I like half watched, is that the show is currently in the 70s right now. That's the era that they're taking up because he's wearing all like the 70s suits and he's got like mutton chops and like big hair. So there are ways I could see making that work. I just don't trust the people who make Pennyworth to make that compelling or interesting.
But that's the thing. Like V for Vendetta then existing in what they're going to consider the wider Marvel universe raises a whole lot of problems.
But
Well,
isn't V in the future?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is what I'm getting at. My assumption is that this is like dream sequence stuff or like parallel universe stuff. But not like portals opening up, like him like seeing a vision of dystopian Britain. Because
kill me if they do
so
alternate
like that
universes
cyborg
on
scene, like Nightmare Batman, but it's Nightmare London.
Yeah, like that's the only way I could think that would work is like somebody, probably not Pennyworth, is like telling him about things. And the V for Vendetta, if I'm not mistaken, takes place in like alternate universe 2000s, right? Yeah, because it's post nuclear war. So you could have it be that like characters in the mainline DC universe, they also exist in the V universe. I wouldn't be against that if I can't remember the name of
everything you're saying is hurting me.
No, I agree. I'm just trying to like, how would you actually make this work?
They can't.
Well,
they can't.
You can't.
And
but
that's the thing too is you're forgetting that like, hey, you're actually putting some logic into this.
They're not going
to. When in the history of Warner Brothers / DC like filmed properties have they put a lot of thought into anything?
Yeah, it's just not.
You're correct.
And who's correct? Thought into Pennyworth.
Exactly.
I mean, I forgot that show was still on until somebody said that they changed the name of the show. I was like,
wait, they changed the name of the show?
Yeah, Hunter, did you forget this? They changed the name of the show to Pennyworth: The Origin of Batman's Butt.
Oh, yeah, they did do that. You're
That's
right.
The official title of the show.
I'm looking online. It's like it is a prequel to Gotham, the TV show.
Is that official? Is it supposed to be young?
I'm literally seeing this on the V for Vendetta Wikipedia about Pennyworth.
Kill me.
Well, okay. Anyway, all I'm saying is the guy who John Hurt played in the film. If you told me that he exists in every possible DC universe, I'm not going to be angry at that. Sure. If that's what they're doing, but I don't think that they're
going to tell you what I'm reading right now.
Okay, what are they actually doing?
That they are going to create that the Norse Fire party is going to show up in the show, which is the party that is the fascist party from V for Vendetta.
If that's all it is,
And people wearing Guy Fawkes masks.
Yeah, that's the thing.
that's the part where I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense because there would be no V yet. There wouldn't be.
We're wasting a whole lot of our precious life energy getting bothered by this.
No, I agree. I don't even know how we got here. I'm upset. I'm very upset. But again, like, this is what I'm saying. The Northfire group, fine. Okay, that's a name. It's just a title. You can use it however you want.
Why fucking bother?
I agree.
Well, because David Zaslav woke up and he was like,
Yes.
"What DC properties do we have?"
I don't think
we need to join a gains to build Arkham Asylum.
We also need to do our every 3 month pissing off of Alan Moore. So
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
Let's do it.
He's now officially retired.
That doesn't mean he's not going to still pop up bitching.
Yeah, he is a habitual complainer. He can't help.
He
himself.
complains about everything.
Yeah.
he complains to get attention at this point. I feel like
He
that.
needs people to sign up for his master classes.
Okay.
So I had this funny encounter with somebody.
With Alan Moore.
He came up. So I was like on Twitter and I saw that thread about what Alan Moore was saying about that, and I was like, he needs to. I was joking like, haha, he needs to go back to his castle and worship his snake god, and then some random person came in the thread and was like, I did a bunch of magic with Alan Moore and he does not live in a castle, and I was like, I don't believe you.
Why? Like, why would someone feel the need to, like, well, I did magic with him and he doesn't live in a castle?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, my dude, you've got a lot more to explain here than him not living in a castle.
Yeah.
Also, anybody that's doing magic with Alan Moore is definitely, so they're not going to talk about it.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, they're definitely what? Because you completely cut out.
They're his human sacrifice.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and
Or
by
they're-
sacrifice, we mean it in the Crowleyan way, which
Yeah.
means
I was about to say, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a big
He's
advocate of
going
Crowley.
to power bottom so hard that person goes crazy.
Maybe that's where that sect of the Bene Gesserit learned
Yes,
from.
the Gesserit are learned from Aleister Crowley. You bottom so hard that you defeat your enemy.
Yes.
no, this is perfect because Herbert he knew LRH,
They're from the same era, all of those guys.
and LRH knew Crowley. Oh my,
There we go.
yes,
It all connected.
yes.
Connected.
Sure, Herbert was like to LRH, like, "Oh my god, your books fucking suck.
And your teeth are terrible, my dude.
Oh my god, you need to get sex
Ketchup
for hornier
soup.
women. Where are the giant worms that are obviously like dude's tits?"
Phalluses. Yeah.
Yes.
And for my coup de grace, I'm going to make one man turn into a giant penis. Anyways,
Yes.
so Adam
Uh,
Sandler is going to be working with the Safdie brothers again.
No,
did
really?
did we skip Brendan Gleeson, or did you?
Oh yeah,
we
I totally
not-
forgot.
Uh,
Sorry. Oh yeah, well,
My
that
favorite
the Adam Sandler
skateboarder.
thing is
I-
Brendan Gleeson. Yeah, Joker 2.
whatever, Joker 2, it's a thing. I don't know how I feel about it till I see it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
I'm so confused by it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm
Well, it's
just-
a musical.
At this point, I
Yeah.
feel like Todd Phillips is just like, let's see how much money they're willing to give me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like it won't be the worst DC film, so
No.
there's that. It will
Well,
be really hard to make the worst DC film at this point. There's
I
so many
mean,
contenders.
Right. The problem is making the best one, which
Yeah,
means
because Shaq already came out.
right. Yeah. Steel
Steel
already
is Steel, yeah.
exists.
I would say
Yeah.
Steel is definitely not the worst DC film.
No, it's the
Supergirl.
best.
Relatively, yeah.
I don't know.
What? There's nothing that beats Supergirl.
I don't know. There's
Nothing released in a theater beats Supergirl. I'll
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
There's nothing because Supergirl is like what 2.5 hours.
well, it's just that's the director's cut.
It
That's
doesn't matter.
And
That's
the
the
movie
only-
feels like it's 2.5 hours. I mean,
That was the only version available when I went to rent it.
when the high point of your movie is Peter O'Toole just being Peter O'Toole.
Peter,
Just
by that you mean hammered as fuck.
Yeah,
Yes.
just dripping
Drunk and touching
alcohol.
2 bottles of gin into the production. Yeah.
I mean, oof.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
Joker 2, like I'm curious because I liked the first Joker film, as shocked as I am to say that, but I don't know if I have the patience for a musical.
I just
see,
I
I'm
don't get it. Like I just don't get. Like I get it, but I don't get it.
mhm. So as somebody who continues to not really like that movie all that much, have many problems with it. This movie sounds, from everything that I'm hearing, it sounds just better to me personally. It sounds like
It's
they're
got the
going
Lady
into it.
Gaga. So
Well, yeah, I mean, it's also got that, and that doesn't hurt. That honestly,
Hot
that
off
buys
of, House of what was it? House of Gucci.
House of Gucci.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, her finest work, her best performance. That
she's no
buys
Harry
a lot of
Styles, that's
points.
for sure.
And just like, I don't know, them making a musical with these characters.
Yeah.
I'm more into
That
that.
makes it less to me. That makes it more like, okay, I get what you're going for.
And I
but-
just I
Yes.
don't get why do more Harley Quinn when we have currently 2 very good, very well received Harley Quinns.
I mean, on the flip side,
Because
why not?
money.
Also, it's worked with
Yeah.
Batman so far. And doing a bad Batman hasn't hurt them.
it's
hasn't.
also like Harley
Yeah.
Quinn is such a cultural moment
Right.
now. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, even if Lady Gaga gives a bad performance as Harley
I'm sorry,
Quinn somehow,
you mispronounced that.
it's
It's
Gaga.
Gaga.
Lady Gaga. Yes, sorry, I apologize. I apologize to the little monsters out there. I got to get ahead of this. I gotta.
The only thing I want is to hear her unleash her true voice, which is her horrible Queen's accent. Like I want her to just go full what she sounded like as a teenage girl in high school.
Oh God.
Because what Harley should sound like. I'm like, I
I
want
mean,
to hear.
you can find that because she was like a nightclub performer for a bunch of
Yeah,
years. There.
her name's
in the
like
2000s.
Stephanie something. Her parents own an
Yeah.
Italian restaurant in Queens, I think.
Oh, it's the most Italian shitbird name on the fucking planet Earth. It's yeah, man. Yeah.
You know what would be really funny? And this is just the nihilist to me is it'd be really hilarious if they do make her Harley and they make her that shitty new Joker girlfriend.
Oh, fucking Punchline, whatever the fuck her name is.
Punchline, yeah. That would be so funny. I would have so much respect for Todd Phillips. Everyone involved.
I don't think he's that deep cut of a DC person though at all. So
it's like a
Black
character
Adam,
that's like a year old.
I hope Black Adam or Superman make a cameo and you actually see them from the neck up. Which, yeah, so is there any more truth found to that rumor of Henry Cavill showing up in Black Adam?
I mean, I've seen it reported everywhere. It's
Yeah.
just still a rumor. That's the only reason it's not on the rundown.
A shot from one of the other movies.
No, okay. So, okay.
That would be really.
Do you guys want me to repeat this here? I can go into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Devin Faraci, long time disgraced former person who was in charge of BMD. Yes, and before it was BMD, Badass Digest. He has sources, probably the same sources that gave him a script that had Doomsday in it a year before the movie came out. He, apparently, everything that he understands says that Cavill is coming back in a post-credit scene in Black Adam. He's wearing
from the neck up.
No, but he got signed on to a new contract, 3-movie deal is what he said.
That's so weird.
Yes, and that was at The Rock's insistence. And when he shows up, he's in Superman Blues with the John Williams theme playing.
Thousands of people lost their mind over that.
Because for some reason it's controversial. for them to do the John Williams theme for a certain segment of people.
It's literally been used in every Superman thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh, Superman. Well, Superman can't smile. He can't.
Right.
He doesn't
Well,
smile ever.
mhm.
You
I mean-
didn't see Smallville or Superman and
No,
Lois?
Lou, do you know why people are actually upset about this?
No, I literally don't.
Because
Because
it's
it's
not
not-
using Junkie XL's soundtrack or whoever the fuck
Or Hans.
did
I
Or
say
the
this-
Hans
Seal.
Zimmer
In an
theme.
honest statement, the less I've used social media, my life has been so much better.
Honestly, I'm with you, man. I wish I could quit.
Well, like people are upset because it's not the Zack Snyder version of
Yeah,
Right.
I need to
Of-
fucking relax.
God.
the music. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Can we
mean,
just like let the Snyderverse die? It's
No,
no.
pitiful
No.
death.
no, but Lou, you don't understand. He could have married James Gunn's wife better than James Gunn did.
That was so fucking crazy. That was so fucking insane.
Did you see that screenshot, Lou?
No, wait, what is this?
So-
Why do people?
I was on Twitter as I do, and James Gunn had posted a picture of himself and he married his wife, right? Underneath, there was a Snyder. It's not a
Snyder
bot.
bot.
Snyder, let's call him a bot, but I don't think it was a bot because I don't think a bot is capable of saying this. Was saying that said Zack Snyder could marry her, would have married her earlier than you ever could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why does earlier mean better? Even
I
though-
don't know. I don't know, but it was so funny.
The bigger question is like, why did this person feel the need to chime in? It has
It's the-
nothing.
Well, it's that part is like it's the internet.
I
I
get
mean-
it. But the fact that they're then connected to the Snyder movement, it's just like, oh God, some of you people, what is wrong with all of you?
I'm begging them to go outside or get laid. Like seriously, just like
Something.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
man.
I'm guessing they're also the same people involved in other movements that connect to getting laid.
that's true. More likely,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
those like what are they called? Not concentric circles. A Venn diagram is basically just a single circle.
Yes.
Yeah, for a lot of this stuff. I mean, and again, I understand there are going to be people who come at me specifically with they raised money, blah blah blah. I don't care. Some of these people are the same people who forced Kelly Marie Tran off of Instagram.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
these people are the people that got real angry about a black Inquisitor in Star Wars, and the list
Black
goes on
Stormtrooper.
and on.
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah. To go even further back. So like, I'm sorry. Like, when there's this much overlap over people who do shitty things and send death threats to people, I'm not going to excuse them because they raised money for one suicide awareness organization. That doesn't equalize things for me. And then as previously mentioned, the Russian bot
Highway-
situation.
Yes.
Nazis invented the highway system. Bad
Yeah.
people
Mhm.
can do good things.
That's true.
Mhm.
They made
They don't-
Fanta.
The Nazis did? Really?
Yeah, did you not know that?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Fanta
Well-
is like a Nazi thing.
But it wasn't fruit. It wasn't like the fruit version that we have.
Delicious.
It was
plain.
yeah. Classic Fanta is like Coke, basically.
Yes.
It's like German Coke because we stopped sending Coke over there after a certain point. So yeah, they just
Okay.
made their own Coke. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Delicious Nazi soda.
Mm.
All right.
Want a
Back to-
Fanta? Don't you want that?
Eric can say that. Eric is allowed.
Yeah. Eric's
Yeah. All right. So on to the next thing that I'd said. Adam Sandler, Safdie Brothers.
Yes.
That's not a shock. Like I feel
No,
like
it's
Adam
not a
Sandler's at the point where he's like, all right, I actually want to do serious stuff now.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, he
I'm-
signed that like 85 movie, $8 billion with Netflix deal, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Exactly.
Although it's interesting, didn't he say if he didn't win the Oscar, he was going to make all of the garbage?
Yeah. I
Something
think he
like
did.
that. Yeah. He was like,
Yeah.
I was going to go back on my bullshit before I won an Oscar. Which, in fairness, that's what he's done his whole career. He tries to do something with like real
Yeah.
esteem and
I like Spanglish.
no, that's the thing.
I
Lou.
think it's a good movie.
he likes Spanglish too. He also likes Punch Drunk Love, and every other time he's tried to be a serious,
didn't
real
he do
actor.
one when he was young too?
I'm sure
one
he
of those
did.
movies.
I'm sure he did something much earlier that I'm forgetting. But he's always like, he does this every few years. He's like, I'm going to try and be a real actor and show that I have chops. And most of them don't do so well. And then he goes and makes 10 movies where he gets to go to Africa and hang out with his kids.
He does a date movie with Drew Barrymore, and he punches Rob Schneider in the dick 12 times.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I want to do that.
In a sock.
And coincidentally, again, he's in Africa, he's in Hawaii, he's in the Bahamas.
He movies for him and his friends to go on vacation.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I don't fault him. He's great.
No,
it's like, like, oh, I haven't hung out with Kevin James. All right, let's do a movie, and he spins a globe and puts his finger down. All right, let's go to the UAE and do a vacation movie. It's like me, Kevin James, David Spade. He'll get in trouble because he's trying to find a drink, but there's no alcohol in the country.
The end of the movie is shot on the top of the Burj. Yeah, that'll work.
They have to do. They like David Spade talks them into doing some sort of heist where they're trying to steal the one bottle of vodka in all of the UAE.
Yes. Jesus Christ.
This actually sounds like a real Adam Sandler movie.
It does, actually. But no, like
anyway,
like I agree with everything you said. Like all of his serious films that I've seen, I've been like, wow, he's
a good. I think he's a good actor.
Well, I can't remember. Someone said like comedians tend to make amazing serious actors, and I really believe that.
Right.
Like Robin Williams back in the day crushed it in all of his movies as serious movies.
Yeah, he did. I mean,
they have to be.
I feel like they also have to be. I don't know, a certain level of talent. They
can't
be Dane
Cook, that's for sure.
I think it's a lot of things.
You're 17.
I think it's charisma, work ethic, and just like precision. The precision that you have to be any kind of successful comedian, even a bad one, is a lot, and that kind of work translates over to acting fairly
understanding
easily.
Human emotions, like, and laughter is the hardest one, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. I
can't deal with human emotions.
But anyway, no idea what this movie's going to be about, but I'm there. I'm in.
I think I just told you.
Well, you know who else is doing a Safdie movie? Nathan Fielder. So,
Nathan Fielder.
He's working on something with the Safdie brothers and Emma
Stone.
That guy is so talented.
I love Nathan Fielder.
I love him so much. That combination of people. I mean, come on. But yeah, no, like I'm down for whatever he does. Whatever the Safdies do. So yeah, I'm in.
It's weird though. Like I feel like he's the Canadian. Fuck, I forgot his name. Mephisto. What's that we talked
Nathan
about the
Fielder?
chat? Yeah, Nathan Fielder's the Canadian version of what's his name. That is the new rumor for Mephisto.
Oh, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of does like similar things, but from a Canadian like version is like he's just so nice and polite.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
He's part of that of that weird, like, only a couple like people do it, but when they're doing their comedy, like they let people build the jokes themselves. Like that's the easiest way to explain it. Like it's him, it's the dude who does the Channel 5 show on YouTube.
Yes.
Where like he just asks questions and listens. He doesn't actually like force people to sound like jerk off.
Yeah, he's all set up and he lets them be the joke.
Yeah.
Like they become the joke.
The guy who did the My Scientology movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember that guy's name. British actor or comedian. But yeah, he's the same way. Like he just lets people hang themselves essentially, and in comedic ways.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Thoreau family. That's that. Yeah, because he's cousins with Justin Thoreau, the incredibly handsome actor.
Is it the one that has the song that they did with his?
Yeah,
literally that's one of the baby's favorite songs. Louis Theroux.
Yeah, my money
Louis
doesn't
Theroux, yeah.
jingle jingle, it folds. Yeah,
Oh, God.
wiggle wiggle. Yeah,
Please no.
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm,
That
mhm.
gets played every morning.
Oh,
Do you want me to sing Baby
Fun.
Shark for you, Hunter?
No.
Hmm.
God,
I can send you my YouTube my algorithm is
Dude, that
fucking
is-
hilarious.
all
I'll
right.
send
So
a screenshot at some point.
the last thing on the
Mhm.
docket is Andy Serkis is producing a Wickerman series.
oh,
Which
Yeah.
Sure.
is it going to be different
Mm.
people burned every episode, or is it?
I guess it's like a creepy cult show. I can
I
see it as
mean-
like a true detective.
Yeah. Here's my issue here. They've done this so many times. I don't know what the new angle is. I didn't finish it, but there was that HBO miniseries not too long ago where my understanding is it turned into yet another Wicker Man, and that had
And then
old
Midsummer.
Vice Rice. Yeah. Well, and also like there was, yeah, exactly. Midsummer. There was the Wicker Man remake, and then there was the Wicker.
Bradies.
Wait, are you talking about the Jude Law one that was on HBO?
Yes,
Yeah,
I never.
that wasn't bad.
But am I correct that it did end up being another version
Wicker
of the
Man
Wicker Man?
adjacent,
Okay.
definitely.
Yes. So like, I don't know what the thing is to do here that we haven't seen in these other. But at the
It's
same
an
time,
island of dudes instead of bees. It's horrible.
right? But at the same time,
God.
I like that stuff. I really like that like neo-pagan stuff. I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of Andy Serkis, and I have to assume that if he thinks there's something here, he has some
No,
idea that he really wants to
he-
explore.
He has
Um,
had pet projects before that haven't done great. Didn't he do Jungle Book?
But it's never his fault, though. That's the thing.
He did.
Like
He
that-
did Mowgli.
Mowgli, yeah. He was
Yeah.
like
He
on
did, yeah.
Netflix, right?
Yeah, it was. It was
He-
actually
well,
very good.
Yeah, and he did. Yeah, it was for Warner Brothers, and my understanding is the story of that is they saw the Disney Jungle Book and they were like, "This is much closer to our Jungle Book than we thought it was going to be. We expected something a bit more Disney-ish," and so yeah, like that's why that whole situation happened apparently. And then yeah, it's just like it's been a lot of situations where he directs most or of the second unit stuff on The Hobbit, and The Hobbit is what The Hobbit was, and so on and so forth. So I'm excited because Andy Serkis is excited, and I want good things for Andy Serkis. But I don't know how I feel about doing this again. You know, because again, I feel like we've done this a lot recently to very high levels of success, even if some of them aren't my favorite thing. I don't love Midsommar as much as a lot of people do, but like it is successful in telling that story. So
what would a difference would be, and he's not the guy to do it, is if they did it in like a not white place would be interesting to kind of take it from a
right
European pagan to a African or Southeast Asian or Southern Asian or like South American would at least put a spin on it.
Who's to say that hasn't already happened within
I
the
meing-
film industries that exist in those areas?
Oh yeah,
I would
yes.
I would argue that has happened all the time, and like I'm trying to think of the right word here. The thing that makes this interesting when they do it is that it's kind of like a reminder to us whites. I hate that I said that.
We need it.
I'm gonna literally slip my chair back and then listen.
Literally,
No,
hey,
but
that
the
needs to be the
reason-
episode title is "Reminder to the Whites."
Can we type that? Hunter, type that in
It's
right now.
It's like a reminder to the whites that like we're all like this. We've all had periods of time and like religions in our various cultures that do weird human sacrifice shit. Like that's the notable thing about it, or one of the interesting aspects of it. It's like it's a reminder that white people haven't always been like Christians and so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying, right? Like it's not always been what it is for the whites.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it's Arlen
Yes.
is
I've
saying
heard
that.
Arlen
See,
say
even
the whites 12 times, and
it's Arlen saying like, see, even white people were like these savages at various points.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's part of it. I feel like that's a big part of it. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like that has to be an aspect. To
I think white
it. Like,
people need to be taken down a peg. That's what I think.
well, yeah. I mean, that's also what I'm saying is like white people aren't different. White people didn't not, ritually sacrifice people. They did. They just really like to act like they didn't, and they like to pretend that they've always been good Christians or whatever. You know,
Well, no,
and I
they
don't want
realized they could sacrifice other people and
right.
cultures. They didn't
Yeah,
have to kill
they
white
realized
people
that
anymore.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
part of me
exactly.
is just like to get out of the joking for a second. It's like, do we need this?
No.
No,
No.
this is what I'm saying. Also,
Yeah,
like,
it's just like I feel like there's an interesting thing there with like doing like going into like other cultures like ritual stuff. I'm like, oh, there. And it's weird that like the thing that popped in my head movie that I'm like, oh, I'm surprised we haven't revisited this idea of Serpent in the Rainbow. Have you guys ever
Right.
seen that?
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
that is a movie that I'm like, I feel like that could go for a remake in an interesting like twist
Right.
way.
well, I would
Um,
want it's something I think you said it. I would want them to make that movie.
I would want what's
I would want
I would want
Asians.
Peel to make
Yes.
He
Serpent
could
in the
produce.
Rainbow.
Peel to make
I would
that.
want a Haitian crew, Haitian cast. And it's interesting you bring that up. There was the Cursed Films, was it? They did an episode on Serpent in the Rainbow, and the thing that everybody who was part of that production said, to some degree, is like, we really wish that we hadn't been the defining voices of telling this story.
That movie
And-
shook me as a kid.
Yeah,
Well, it's
I'm sure
interesting
it did.
because that movie was out around the same time as a movie called The Believers.
Yeah, I saw that one too, actually.
And it had Michael, was it Michael
Michael-
Douglas?
Sheen. It's
Oh
one of the
yes.
Oh, it was Sheen? Okay.
Yeah, it was Sheen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that actually really recently. And yeah, it's covering a lot of the
87?
same surface or same material. Yeah.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, that's
And
it.
Yeah, and there's like a conspiracy. It's like 70s conspiracy thriller, but they sub in occult stuff.
Well, yeah, it's voodoo.
Brujeria.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
it's Brujeria. Okay.
Yeah.
Brujeria.
But they make it
I'm
very
saying it wrong.
multicultural. It's
I'm
like
white. I don't pronounce things correctly.
basically like a bunch of white people went to, I think they say Africa, and they were like, oh, we're gonna put money into this. We're gonna like invest in these people doing this voodoo or Santeria.
Which is very interesting because Martin Sheen is Puerto Rican.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martin
Robert
Estevez.
Loggia is in this movie.
Yeah, Robert
Jimmy
Loggia
Jimmy
plays.
Schmitz.
It is baby Jimmy Schmitz too.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trailer now. Like this is a movie I need to watch. This seems like a Lou movie.
The guy the black guy who's in that, I don't know his name, but he was like the bad guy to have in movies for a while. He never.
I'm guessing it's Malik Bowens.
I'm thinking, but yeah, I seem to remember around that time period he was in a lot of stuff as the bad guy who didn't have a whole.
As
lot
a result of The Believers, or just separately?
No, it's separately. It just he was part of the zeitgeist at the time.
Okay.
He's in Outbreak. He's one of the doctors. He's in Double Team, the Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's a terrible name.
Or Dennis
Terrible
Rodman movie.
name. Horrible name.
We didn't have anything else. I don't know how much longer you guys want to go, but Hunter, you want to tell us about how much you hated Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends or whatever?
Halloween Ends fucking sucks. Yeah, that movie's bad.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's one other thing I would love to talk about when we finish, though.
What's
Besides Halloween. Werewolf by Night?
Yeah.
Sure.
Did we not talk about this?
We
at all?
didn't
Oh,
talk
no.
about it last
I didn't
week.
talk about it at all.
Connor hadn't seen it last week.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Hunter wasn't on yet.
I saw it
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah, it's
Fucking awesome.
yes, it was
It
great.
is so good. I'm like, I feel like between that and She-Hulk, it's like, oh, Marvel was like, fuck you. It's like, oh, Marvel's so safe. They don't violence. Like, like there wasn't like blood splurts, but like there was pretty brutal violence in that.
He ripped someone's ear off.
There's an ear rip off, there's a sword in the head, an arm gets chopped off, multiple disintegrations.
Yeah, but according to some people, it's ultimately too minor and nothing special, just boring in their opinion. Ted was cool though, I'll give it that.
Yeah, like, and I love, like, I was shocked because I didn't want to know anything, like, that Elsa Bloodstone was even in it.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a deep cut character. I feel like she's the deepest cut character.
She's in it and she rules.
Well, and the minute that actress walked onto the screen, I was like, oh god, it's Kristen Ritter.
Yeah,
Like,
I think I said that in the chat. I'm like, oh, it's not Kristen Ritter.
Yeah, it's Kristen Ritter Prime. Like, like the Kristen Ritter we know is the Aldi brand version of her. But yeah, it's Werewolf by Night was fucking great. I cannot believe how good it was, especially when I heard who was directing it. I was like, I don't know, we're gonna have to see.
The Giacusi was open.
Dude is talented as fuck.
Yeah.
And I love all the choices they did. I love the black and white. Like, I was actually thinking, like, my wife's little cousin lives by. He's like he's turning 10 this month. It's like, I don't know if he can watch this.
No,
I think this might freak him the fuck out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they could watch it because
I think he's
Excuse
bored.
me,
Like,
had to
it
sneeze.
depends. Yeah.
I think he could watch it because the black and white of it, like it just kind of distances you from
it's not
the
the
more
violence.
horrific
I think
aspects.
this is like the what do you call it? Not the specifically violence. It's like the intensity of it might freak him out.
Yeah.
Well, black and white can also go the other way, in my experience. It can also freak you out more than it should when you're very young. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So, yeah, I don't know. But I think kids should be scared. That's just my
we should freak
take.
kids out. I
definitely did
They're
not do
more
any
children.
psychological damage to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we all scared ourselves when we were children. I watched that show starring tall Hunter's Kind from Next Generation.
What do you mean, Hunter's Kind?
What do you call it, Riker?
I watched
Factor Fiction.
Factor Fiction. I watched that show as a fucking 5-year-old.
Great.
That show is amazing.
So it's the show where all the memes where he's like, what if you did this and this happened?
Yeah.
You ever ride a bicycle?
And he would tell a story, and at the very end, he would reveal if the story was true or not. And there was this one story about a man who was drinking blood bags in a hospital.
You brought this
We've all
up
been
before.
there. We've all been there.
It scarred me.
Sometimes,
I feel like
Sometimes you get thirsty.
we're not quite 3 generations here, but we're like 3 different eras. Like, I grew up on watching, like, definitely way too early Predator, Child's Play, Puppet Master, where I was like, Predator freaked me out so fucking much because I could not understand the conception of heat vision.
So for me,
I understand that.
For me, it was Killer Clowns from Outer Space because my dad.
Oh, that movie fucked me up too.
Those movies fuck you up, but the thing about the TV and why I specifically bring that up is the TV oftentimes, at least in my case, that was a choice you made for yourself. We chose to do this.
I feel like this should be a podcast episode for like Halloween, the movies that fucked us up.
Yeah, I could talk about
probably. That. But like again, I chose to watch Fact or Fiction. I was not forced. My father did try to make me watch Alien. He tried to make me watch Predator and The Thing.
You know what things we had? This is like you just reminded me. My dad had the entire collection of not Twilight's, Outer Limits books.
Oh wow.
Living room. And I would look at them and then get freaked out and not want to look at them in the.
Oh, I used to have the Time Life, like Mysteries of the Unknown books. My grandmother got me those.
I think maybe it was those books. Were they black with like just a picture in the middle?
Outer Limits. Yeah, Outer Limits was a sci-fi TV show.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, they were whatever. They were like, slightly better than elementary school. Like, look at this book about ghosts, but that's about it. So, Hunter, you and Arlen would probably eat this stuff up. You would just devour these books.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have any movies I can specifically name that fucked me up because.
Well, that's because when movies when you were,
Exactly.
movies when you were a kid.
Anyway,
those rotoscope ones that
It
were
was
like
that one
horse
with the
running.
horse running, right?
Yeah, exactly.
even though I wasn't there, I know there were shows on TV that were far too much for like a young child, like the Unsolved Mysteries and stuff like
Oh,
that.
See,
watched-
I grew up watching that.
Yeah.
Right.
I
imagine
grew up, and this is like
did
the thing
enough.
Connor could jump in. Like, we had a hot box, so we had all of those channels we weren't supposed to have. We watched all of
This is an East Coast thing. This is a very East Coast thing.
Yeah.
That does,
it was very
That
much
is straight up.
latchkey kid staying up with buddies, like in the neighbor, like next door, like watching all of this garbage. We were not like, I've seen like there's like one podcast that's like, oh, like our podcast, we cover movies that are on VHS. Like, yes, I've seen all of those movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I never had a hot box. I would just have to stay up late and try and make out a boob.
Yeah.
in the,
Right.
Scrambled. Yeah.
I had
Oh,
the
no, we
internet,
had-
so
that
I
was
could
the
just
TV.
like.
Yeah. See now.
It-
That's
Eric also he had to forage for forest porn.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I found forest porn.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
I found porn magazines
Multiple times.
in my grandfather's garage in Tottenville.
Well,
anyways,
nobody
Ooh,
talks about the
I
garage,
thought-
but that was a good source if you were looking for something close by. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Go to the
found my
woods?
dad's Playboy copy of Ginger Spice from the Spice Girls.
Oh,
Mm.
right.
And then I was just like, I'm not giving this back, because what's he going to say? Like,
Oh yeah,
is
Is
he
he
gonna say,
gonna-
did you take this? I was like, take what?
right. Yeah, yeah. He's like, what did I take, Father? What did I? Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
anyways, we should probably wrap up. Being
Yeah,
that it's
it's-
almost 12:30 on the East Coast here.
yeah.
So this has been the Phantom Zone, where we actually had a news show, which we haven't done in
Yeah.
God, I don't even know how long it's been.
I think it's like 6 months.
Because
The stories I saw in there were like Grendel just starting in Netflix, and that show's been shot and isn't coming out.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, that's fucking wild that they're even trying to do that. Like, let's end.
Yeah, please. I've been your host, Eric Fedorchuk. You can find me on Instagram at Eric_Fedor. There's Fisher Dogs, Food, Cats, and Comics. Flailing around Phantom Zone, flailing around here, there, and everywhere on the internet. And yet another reason why Gen Z should be driven into the sun in a large transport. Thumbs up emoji branded inappropriate by Gen Z.
all right.
Yep, people in their
All
mid-30s and over completely comfortable with using the thumbs up icon, but Gen Z workers have warned that it can come off as confrontational without context.
All right. We should
I'm gonna
just
fucking
move
love
on.
somebody.
We're gonna
I'm
move
gonna-
on from that. We're not
I'm
gonna
gonna
talk
hold
about
on.
it.
Closer to being alt-right.
I'm gonna hold my young sibling to account for this. I'm gonna make them answer for the crimes of the Gen Z.
Aren't you?
So,
Gen
anyways,
Z?
you can listen to Comic
I'm-
Club and Crossover Attack.
Wait,
No,
wait,
we're
Hunter,
gonna have this conversation. No,
Hunter,
no,
are you offended by the thumbs up icon?
I am actually
Really, you are. Why is that? Why
because
The
Is
thumb
it-
is
I
not
don't have
tall enough.
thumbs.
is it threatening to you? Or
It's
is it,
right. Well, as a tall person, I don't like anything that is pointing upwards at me.
The director of Room 237 should make a documentary about you and your feelings about the thumbs up.
So, anyways,
LA,
the carpet
retract-
is
I retract some of my final comment. I don't want all Gen Zers shot into the sun. Just TikTokers.
TikTok.
And,
should
and
go.
yeah.
a lot,
I mean,
of,
TikTok, just
a lot
just
of the more
TikTok,
vocal
yeah.
Gen Z kids.
Mhm,
Just shut up.
mhm. LHP, we're coming out with new episodes weekly for the moment. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, look forward to that. And I am a millennial, actually. 1994 is the cutoff.
Oh,
thank
so
you.
I am Gen Z.
Yeah. No, actually, there's another one in between.
Okay, whatever that
A
is.
zillennial.
Zillennial
God.
is the Gen X millennial thing, which doesn't
Oh.
exist. It's
Yeah.
it's dumb.
It's not real.
Well, no, Hunter, when were you? When were you
I was
born?
born April 11, 1995. Send checks, not
I think that-
flowers.
Okay, I think the cutoff is like June 1994. So yes,
You see,
yes, you are whatever.
if you were born after OJ,
Right.
I was in high
Wow,
school when
that fell flat.
OJ happened. Yeah, he's born after 9/11.
That's true.
Oh God, there.
My youngest,
It's a real thing.
my youngest sibling was born in the year 2000.
Hate that.
Yeah.
I was in 7th grade. Eric was a registered voter.
He is going to turn.
He's going
to turn.
That's probably not even a lie.
I was 22.
Yes, that was an. You could drink.
Yes,
When-
and I did.
He voted for Roosevelt.
Yes, I punched him.
How? Which one?
Both Roosevelts. They had it coming.
All right. Okay. Now I'm gonna stop the show. Bye.
I didn't get to
Punched
do
that
that.
wheelchair driving asshole FDR. Hit him so hard, broke a wheel.
He could have stopped Pearl Harbor. He could have stopped it. He didn't stop it because he needed to get us out of the war.
All I have to say is Arlen didn't let the colored person do an outro.
How? Okay, do it now then. Huh? How's about that? Let's do that now.
No. This is the end. This is the end of the episode.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
that's a charity, is what you're
Bye.
doing now.
Reminder to the whites.
God damn it.